Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial here at Code Essentials KE. This tutorial will be taking you through drag and drop in HTML5. We are going to use a drag and drop API. So to drag is basically to grab an object and drag it to a different location. So in this tutorial, I'll be grabbing an image and I'll be putting it in a div, right? So let's get into the tutorial. So first of all, I'm going to assume that you have already opened your VS Code and you have connected your folder. In my case, I've connected the folder center div, right? I'll begin by creating an HTML5. So I'm going to call it drag underscore drop dot HTML, right? I'm going to click on enter. I'm going to type HTML and I'm going to select the last one, which will be the HTML5 boilerplate, right? I'm going to click OK, right? So this one will generate you a starter code for HTML structure that you are going to use in your code. And in this file, we are going to use JavaScript to add the functionality. So I'll be creating a JavaScript file and also a CSS file. Let's do that. I'm going to say drag.js and also drag.css, right? So I'll begin by connecting the CSS. I'm going to say drag.css, and for the JavaScript I'm going to say drag.js, right? So now I've connected my JavaScript and my CSS, right? I'll begin by adding the div. The first div will be the one that we are going to use, that we are going to place the dragged image. So I'm going to say div.div1. So that one will be, no, this one should be the ID div1. I'm going to give it a event of on drop. Drop will be drop. This one will take a event because it is an event. I'll cover this in another tutorial, events in JavaScript. And I'm also going to say on drag over, on drag over, this one will take allow drop. This is still another function in JavaScript and it takes event, right? So that will be the end of our div. And I'm also going to put an image. So it will be an image. The ID will be drag1. I'm going to give it a source of, I have this file logo.png. It is basically a HTML logo. This one is the one we are going to use in this tutorial. So I'm going to say my source is logo.png, right? And I'm also going to say draggable will be true because we want this image to apply the event of dragging to the div1, right? After this, I'm going to say on drag start. On drag start is a function that will take the event of when we start dragging, and it will take the function drag and it will take event, right? I'm also going to give it a width. The image will have a width of 300 and a height I'm going to give it 150, right? Yeah. After that, I'm going to apply the styling. I'm going to come here at the drag.css. I'm going to apply the styling for div1, which is this one here, the ID. I'm going to apply. I'm going to give it a width the same as the one for the image. I'm going to give it a height of 150 pixels. I'm going to give it a padding of 10 pixel. I'm going to give it a border. Border will be 1 pixel solid. I'm going to give it this color code, right? You can change to whatever you want, and I'm also going to give it a margin bottom of 250 pixel, right? So we have not applied JavaScript yet. I'm going to open with live server. So I'm going to open with live server. Live server is a marketplace extension that will help you to reload your code automatically after you save your file. You don't have to go to the browser and refresh. I'm going to open it, live server. As you can see, we have this box and we have the image, right? Right now, you cannot be able to drag it because you have not written the functions in JavaScript. You have not defined the functions. I'm going to increase the border size here to be maybe 3 pixel. You can go back. You can see now it is visible, right? Now I'm going to my JavaScript, whereby I'm going to add these functions. The first function will be the one for allow drop, right? It will take an event. It will take event dot prevent default. So what event dot prevent default means is that we don't want, when we just lift the image, to drag itself. We want to be able to control the image using our cursor, right? Or our pointer. So that function is done. I'm also going to create the function for drop, right? It's going to take an event dot prevent default. Don't want it to drop itself. Then we are going to say variable data. So this one will take the data of the image that you are trying to drop or to drag. I'm going to say event dot data transfer dot get data. I'm going to get data. This one will be text, right? We're going to say event dot target dot append. Our target will be the div1 that we are going to place the image, right? We're going to append child will be the document dot get element by ID, then it will be the data, right? So basically what we are going to do is that we are going to append the image, the contents of this image to here, right? So that is what the drop function means, right? I'm also going to define another function above the drop, which will be the function drag, right? So drag will take an event. So this one will be called when you start dragging the image. The drop is when we are now dropping the image on the div box, right? Going to say event dot data transfer dot set data be text. Then we are going to set the event dot target dot id, right? So this id will be the one for this box, right, that we are going to drag the image, right? So we are basically passing the data from the image to this id, then we are getting that data from the drop function, right? So, and I think our our functions are done. We are going to test. I'm now going to drag this image, and as you can see, we have been able to drag the image from its position to the div box. If I now reload, you can see now the image is at its initial position. Now I'm going to perform the dragging, and as you can see, I've been able to drag the image. So this is how you use the drag and drop API in HTML5. This was just a simple tutorial. In future, I will do an advanced tutorial to how you can be able to drag text data, can be able to open files or drag in files from another location. So that marks the end of our tutorial. Thank you.